I think people would be surprised to know the conversations that happen in locker rooms or across the planet with some of the world's best is that everybody's working hard. The conversation is not about work harder. I mean, that's like a prerequisite. There are the freaks, there are the half percenters of that unique population that roll out of bed and can have a terrible diet and, you know, have a 4'3", jump 42 inches. Like, there are those freaks. They have a six-pack and they eat like no one's business. Like, there are those people. But for the most part, it really is not about working hard, it's about recovering well. So this mechanism to recover well, there's a whole set of practices and internal and external resources to be able to leverage. And one of those is to think well. So sleeping well, eating well, moving well, and thinking well are the basic frames here. So what is thinking well? Thinking well is finding an optimistic way of thinking about the future. And I know that there's some of you right now that are going, oh, okay, we're going to talk about optimism. Like, it's all pleasant and nice and kind. Well, there's nothing really wrong with it. That actually is kind of nice. But optimism is actually at tier 0 when it comes to mental toughness. Think about this for a moment. Think about some of the best performers in your unique world. They fundamentally believe that it's going to work out. So when it's hard, when it's not going according to plan, they've got this internal mechanism, the way that they speak to themselves, that stay in it, I'm going to figure it out, stay in it, we're going to figure it out, stay in it just a little bit longer, it's going to turn, it's going to turn, it's going to be amazing. That's the psychological principle of optimism. That's a trainable skill. It's not hard to understand how to train it, but it becomes part of your DNA when you look for the good. So thinking well is really grounded in optimism. It's grounded in a belief that things are going to work out. And that very nature actually changes the way that we deal with stress. It changes the way that we deal with recovery. Now, one more piece here. If you do all the stuff right, you're eating grilled fish and vegetables, you're sleeping like an absolute champ, and your balance between stress and recovery is lock solid, but you wake up in the morning and instantly you're flooded with anxiety, you are frustrated, you get irritated quickly, you have an intolerance about you, you are opening the floodgates for resources to flow through. It's not right. So you can put all the systems in place, but if you ignore the psychology of thinking well, basically what ends up happening from a brain perspective is that you're chasing cortisol all day long. Cortisol is a neurochemical that is agitating. It happens and it comes on board when we are stressed. And trying to chase that out of the system is hard. It's expensive from a practical standpoint. So if you don't have your mind right, and I'm saying right now that's really about having an optimistic framework, the fundamental belief that things are going to work out, that you are going to chase all day long the running out of cortisol. And so I would say, like, when we're trying to think about the recovery and stress balance, it really is grounded in think well.